Hey,
Hi,
it's Tash and Carly,
and you're listening to Motherhood,
not as we planned.
So get comfy, grab a cup of tea,
Or a glass of wine, and let's start talking about all the things too many of us avoid discussing. Hi guys, and welcome to another episode. Do you know what I've realised we never do? We're never like, hi, it's Tash, Carly. Like,
go on then, let's do it.
hi, I'm Tash. Hi, it's Carly. No, I can't do that.
That's just not me.
Well, like, I don't know. Sometimes people might just go straight into like episode 30 something.
We're doing a reintroduction of us.
I don't know.
Let me reintroduce myself.
My name is I don't know the words. That's not my kind of thing. I'm more like, and I want to say, don't call me kid. Don't call me baby.
She's not an absolute mouth.
Taylor Swift. Okay. Anyway, welcome back to another episode. Let's do a little weekly.
Right, I have to say one thing, guys, if you're watching this, other than the pink.
Yeah, I literally look like a massive blancmange.
But you were glowing this week.
I'm not.
You look happier, and like, I'm sure I'm not the only one. If you're watching, you look different.
Do I?
Yeah.
Am I fit done?
Am I gorgeous?
I don't know, what is it in one day? I looked actually quite gorgeous in my 20s.
You look quite gorgeous.
Yeah.
Do you feel better? Not better, but
I feel like, so I know, obviously I don't remember what was said and what's been listened to already before this is played, but one that I've listened to recently, I was very upset and I was like, I'm not doing the like counting the no contact anymore. Yet that didn't last very long. It's very evident to me, for me personally, I need real like set boundaries. Otherwise, when it's kind of like either, oh, we're not going to not talk, but you can if you need.
Either the pressure is.
I know, but
Yeah.
I need like a rule.
Right.
It's like either you talk or you don't talk. So it's 2 weeks today.
Congrats.
I've never been out a month. I know. So do you know what? I feel, look, I still miss him. He's still on my mind a lot, but I'm definitely getting there.
Going there in the right direction.
And in the right direction.
Well, that's positive. You're feeling more. You can tell.
Can you?
Yeah, 100. Normally I walk in, I'm like, scared. And I'm scared. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, you can
the
feel-
vibe's different.
I love that I do feel better. Look, I'm so aware again.
Yeah,
like
it's gonna be up and down.
up and down. But while I'm up,
Feeds the up.
taking it in.
Yeah. Like, done anything fun this week?
Have I done anything fun this week? What have I done this week?
How was your Mother's Day?
Oh yeah. Okay. Sometimes I forget. Like, yeah, we haven't shared. Mother's Day. Look, I can't complain. Like, I had the kids. A friend of mine who's also a single mum came over in the morning with her son, and the kids just played, and we just like had a little catch up, and then went out for like a late lunch with all my family. And it was really nice. Like, I got a card from their dad.
Cool.
Last year he didn't get me one, and I think I really made it clear that wasn't cool. And yeah, he sent me one, and do you know what was interesting was it was like a Moonpig one, and it wasn't actually one that the kids wrote. I was a bit, at first the thought of that, I was a bit like, oh, like I want it from them, but actually what he wrote in it was actually really, really sweet. So yeah, like, look, it's one of those days, isn't it? Like birthdays, anniversaries, like it is bittersweet. Like, I had a good time with my kids and I can't complain with how my day went, but it is that sort of reminder of like, you know, I woke up and no one's doing anything for me.
Well, kids are still too young to
To do it themselves.
Yeah, or even know that's the thing.
But, you know, trying to put a positive twist on it, because I'm obviously in my positive girl era today. I don't know how I'll be tomorrow, but one day I know I'm going to have someone that will make it special for me. So the only way is up. The only way is up.
I struggled with Mother's Day this year. Do you know what happened? I like forgot it was Mother's Day. Like, I think in my head, because I knew it wasn't my weekend with the kids, obviously I mean, as well, that weekend, it was my niece's birthday and I tried to get it so that my kids could come to the party and just it just didn't go that way. And the weekend, difficult stuff in terms of splitting whose weekend and stuff. Anyway, I'm not going to go too much into detail, but I had deliberately made plans so that I was busy that weekend, and I'd forgotten about it. So I went out with the girls on Friday night. I met my boyfriend after the night out, and we stayed in a hotel in London, and we made like a real morning of it. Like went out for breakfast and stuff. It was really nice. And then I saw him again on the Saturday night, and then it wasn't until the Sunday, I think I must have like gone online and I'd seen a Mother's Day, but I was like, oh God, it's Mother's Day. And I feel like we both felt my mood just go, and I just lost my head. Like I just suddenly felt really sad. It felt really quiet in my house. Like it's not I knew I was seeing my kids later on, but it's not the same as waking up with your kids. Like it's not. So I got myself a bit upset, but then I was like, the positive thing is like we've agreed like I can have the kids slightly earlier, so it'll be, like it's fine, it is what it is. Like we're all going to my mum's for afternoon tea, and got to pick up, and I was like, oh, is this everything? Like just thinking there might be a card, like just I'm not asking for a present, I just feel like a card, take the kids out for a card, like you get a car for 29p. And there was nothing, and I don't know, I like got in the car to drive the kids back, and I just burst out crying. Like it just really hit me. I felt so bad. Like, those days where you can't control crying, and like I hate crying in front of my kids, but it's not like I don't feel guilty for it anymore. But then like I was crying, I could not stop, and then Milo started crying. But, like a really a horrible cry, like a really sad cry. And I was like, what's the matter, darling? He's like, Mommy's so sad. And I just felt even more guilty.
Yeah.
And then Theo started crying. So we're all in the car driving. We're all crying. I was like, wow, what is my life right now? But then so I had to pull myself together.
Yeah.
But then I literally like walked through my mum's door and just like burst out crying. Bless my mum. I told her what had happened before. She pulled Theo straight into the study, and they made me a card. And they'd obviously got flowers from flowers she had, and gave some to me. And then my sister turned up and she'd bought some flowers for me. So it's sweet that I've got people like looking out for me and stuff. I don't know, for me it was just like, regardless of what's happened between me and my ex, one thing I know I'm good at is my role as a mother, and I feel like I've made even more sacrifices this year. Like I do so much of the load. I think it was just a kick in the teeth, like not to have any recognition. And it's not about it being from him. For me, it's bringing up my children to recognise and celebrate things like mothers. Like just because of what's happened with Mother's Day, I'm still going to get the kids to buy him a Father's Day card because I feel like that's the right thing to do.
Do you know what? Can I say something on that note? And I'm no way sitting here defending him, because my ex did exactly the same last year. But I think a lot of these, should I say, men are mothered by women, and then when they're not with them, they don't know right from wrong. Like I was that person that got cards or for his own parents. Do you know what I mean? Like they need that guidance from a woman. I'm not defending them. All I'm saying is I'd like to think that he will use this as a lesson and realise what to do moving forward. I did exactly the same. I had 3 separate occasions where I did not get a card from my ex, and he always got them. You'd think the first time he would have cottoned on, but he didn't.
I don't think I got him a birthday card last year, but everything was very raw. Like we were still it was in a really bad time. Something had happened that week, and I don't think I did. So perhaps that was wrong on me on reflection, but I just couldn't lie.
I get that. Look, at the end of the day, we've also got to have realistic expectations of the people we're dealing with. And you guys still aren't in a good place. Again, I'm not defending him. It's not about you. It's about showing your children the right thing to do.
Because it knocked me. I thought there's no way he wouldn't just get a card. And also, like, that week we'd had a conversation about being civil for the kids. Like, I'm honestly at a point where I'm not angry anymore. Like, I wish things hadn't happened the way they had, but I'm not angry anymore. Like, I just want to move on. There's no point like going round and round in circles. And we had our first really positive handover on the Friday, like actually.
Oh, before Mother's Day.
Yeah. So on the Friday, very pleasant, no bad words exchanged. Like the kid, it was book book day, so the kids were like dressed up and like had a bit of a joke with like the kids being dressed up and whatever. And it was the most pleasant changeover we'd done. So I think
that maybe set your expectations.
Yeah.
Do you know what though? Taking a positive from that, just seeing that glimpse of a positive handover, imagine what it could be like in a year.
I hope so.
Like I really,
I feel like,
I think we also wanted to touch on, like, I think we both had some real like negative feedback on social media, and I don't want to give it too much airtime because it's not necessary. But I just think anyone listening to this, well, they're probably not listening to this because they wouldn't want to, but it's just so sad when I feel like people don't allow other people to validate how they're feeling. Like, don't get me wrong, someone's always worse off than you. Like, I could sit here and be upset on Mother Day.
I've been to 11 Have you heard that?
No.
It's like someone's always trying to one-up you on whatever you do.
Right.
Like, if you've done this, well, this is worse for me. Like, I've done this.
Yeah. But I think it's those people that are actually probably really miserable and bitter in their lives that they're like trying to put you down. Like, I had also, I'm sorry, but I had people saying things like, because I did a post and it was kind of like, I haven't got the, you know, the breakfast in bed, this, that and the other. All these things are very different as a single mom. But that's what I mean. Like, people message me being like, oh, well, I'm married and I didn't even get that. You're missing the point. Like, it wasn't about the breakfast in bed. And I hate it when people also say things like, I really get it. Like, my husband works away 3 times a week. It's like, no, but you've always got someone to come back to you.
Or even speak to.
Yeah, like, I don't know. I found that's a bit that I actually found more frustrating on Mother's Day than anything else.
Yeah, that knocked me a bit as well. Like, I shared kind of basically just about finding Mother's Day difficult this year.
Mm-hmm.
Like, someone was like, it's so wrong of you to call yourself a single mum when your partner's involved. And I was like, well, what am I then? Like, basically, I was arguing with people about, like, what I've called myself. Like, do you consider yourself a single parent?
Yes.
Yeah. Apparently, we're not single parents.
Well, I'm whatever I fucking want to be.
Like, I just think it's so ridiculous. Like, I'm not going to lie, I parent 80 to 85% of the time on my own and do 80 to 85% of the load.
I'm like a co-parenting mother.
Like, who even cares what the term is? Like, it's absolutely, it really bothered me. And do you know what? For so long, I've not ever, well, I don't really get trolled unless I go looking for trolls.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I don't, because I don't care. I think because it was there on my page, it was really bothering me. And people like saying really awful things like, oh, you feel sad about that. Like, imagine
not seeing them at all.
Like, oh, yeah, or like stuff like that. I'm like, I'm not saying that's not all. I said, like, your circumstances are absolutely awful, but that's not what I'm saying. Just because someone's situation is awful, it doesn't mean I'm not allowed to feel the things I'm feeling.
Yeah.
Like, how dare you invalidate me? Anyway, it got to the point where I started just deleting some comments but I had the tendency to just focus. It wasn't even a lot of comments. It was maybe 5, 6 comments, but I had hundreds of amazing ones. So I'm really trying to flip it on its head.
Yeah.
Like, the support. I think the thing that bothered me is a lot of the comments actually came from what I would classify as a single parent, as a group of single parents or a group of parents whose circumstances aren't perhaps what we imagine they'd be. I just feel like we should be a community and like support each other. Like,
I think that is the majority. Like, look at the people that we haven't had one person message us about the podcast and be like, what are you talking about? They're not single.
No, you're right.
You've just got to feel sorry for them.
And I feel like perhaps some people are just really bitter about their circumstances and they can't see that someone else might possibly struggle because they are stuck in that awful stage in theirs. And maybe one day they'll kind of like reflect and realise actually everyone's entitled to feel what they feel. You can't help it. Like, I was sad and I felt sad and I know in myself those feelings were perfectly valid. Anyway, we don't want to give it too much airtime because we're not here to be negative today. We need to hone in on Tasha's glow and glow. Should we? Other than that, this week, sorry.
Go on.
That like knocked me this week, and I had a really crappy start to the week, and I've not been able to shift this mood. Coupled with Milo's wake ups in the hour of 5 a.m. this morning.
Yeah, Rowan's done the same.
How it must be the moon. Must be the moon. It's like killed me. Like, and I feel like the weather and just everything. I've been so negative this week. Like,
sun is shining.
Yeah, I've just been so grumpy and miserable and negative. Like I've been in such a bad headspace. And today I've woken up and I feel so much more positive. And
Do you know what? I've been in a good mood listening to our podcast today.
Me too.
Yeah.
No, I'm feeling good today. So yeah, it's a new week. I'm feeling more positive.
Sorry for anyone watching. My finger's bleeding, so I'm just wrapping it in a bit.
Should we get stuck in with an email?
Yeah. Well, so we've got. I thought we'd try a new segment. I don't know whether we should start with that because it's quite funny. So we thought we would talk about, and the reason why I actually wanted to do this, I don't want to highlight the fact that men or whoever it is have done wrong. I want this to highlight more that you're not on your own if you stay. We wanted to do a segment pretty much called Worst Situations, Worst Scenarios Where You Still Stayed. And I want that to highlight that, like, if you are currently in that situation, you're listening to this and you know you should leave, you know that you're not in a good relationship and you think that you're a really silly or bad person for staying, it's really fucking normal to stay. Staying is easier. Be kind to yourself and you will get to that point at some point where you are ready to leave. But let's go through some situations where people found things out and still stayed. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's do this. He hid the fact that he had 3 children from me for 2.5 years. He's an ex now, but I did stay with him for another 2 years after finding that out.
Where does he hide?
In the closet. What? Imagine being with someone for 2.5 years and not knowing they had kids.
No, that's wild.
Told me he wasn't sure if he believed in monogamy. We were married with 2 kids.
Oh my God.
I found out my partner had kissed his...
Another one.
Work colleague. Hey, and another one. On a night out, I was invited to.
Wait, to kiss her?
No, to the fucking thing. I was there, saw her flirt with him all night long. He didn't even try and push her away. And I still went home with him after because I loved him, but I was blind as fuck.
Wait, they kissed when she was there, but she didn't see, but they kissed on that night.
She saw him flirting with him all night and he didn't try and push her away.
That's respectfful. The thought of that makes me feel. Cheated on me in the home I bought us. Still stayed. And then she did a clown emoji. Told me if I didn't have sex with him, then he'd be tempted to cheat again. Still stayed. Clown. By the way, these are all from the same woman. She then said we could only go out if I paid as he had no money. He was employed full time. Still stayed. Clown. Oh, babe. Lost thousands of our savings. Got in huge debt. Earns well, but still he lied. I left 3 years later.
Good girl.
Found out he was texting and meeting up with another mum in my son's class at school.
Oh.
What is wrong with these people? This, yeah, it's like what we said. Like, I feel like when you're going through something like this, you're like this is so crazy. It's scary how common it is, isn't it? Okay.
What?
Had a one-night stand and got someone pregnant. Found out 2 years after. Made him have a relationship with his child at 2 years.
Hold on.
So the person she was with, he had a one-night stand, got someone pregnant, and he didn't find out he'd got her pregnant till after 2 years. Slept with me and another girl in the same week, and I only found out because they got an infection.
Shut up.
Dirty man. Honestly, the stuff some of us go.
Oh my God, sorry. I catfished him on Tinder. When a mate saw him on there, he was messaging me in bed, not knowing. So I think they were next to each other. And he was messaging her as a catfish. Julia.
Ain't that cool though?
Fucking Julia.
Turn around and be like, hi, in me.
My God.
Guys, it's a long one, but I feel like if it's long, it's good.
If it's long, it's good.
That's what depends how I use it. We both worked with his ex-girlfriend for 3 years. When me and him started dating, he basically told me a story of how she became controlling and it became toxic. So he left her. But she was still trying to control him and be part of his life because their families were close. So he would speak to her for the sake of his family. that's
the biggest red flag.
I know. I'd be like, it's over now. Tell your family to get over it.
We need to stay in contact because I love her mum. Mummy.
I told him it was fine for them to be friends. You're very nice. But to be frank with her and set clear boundaries. Every time we would meet up or be out together, in the car, on a date, at his house, she would ring him at least 4 or 5 times. He would be very quick to try and decline the calls, and I would always say to him, why don't you answer? A few months down the line, when he was in the shower, I found some flirty messages on his phone with her. We spoke about it, and he said he had felt like she was controlling him and that if he didn't respond in that way, she would try and split us up. I stayed. And then a few months later, we were supposed to be going out for dinner with his family. He basically went AWOL. Phone went straight to voicemail. He wasn't responding to messages, etc. When he finally replied the next day...
So what? He just disappeared? So did she go out with her family?
I was obviously fuming. He apologised and said his terminally ill nan had been taken into hospital and had been given hours to live.
Why always the nans?
Poor nan. So,
Nana.
No, Nana. Nana. What's that from? Nana.
I have no idea.
It's from something. It's from like it's probably the Enfield. It's
that. No. It's probably from that bloody guy who had his nana walk in on him when he was knitting that girl out. You remember?
She had hours to live, so he'd been by her bedside, and of course I forgave him and felt awful for being mad. But then when I went around his house the next day whilst he was cooking me dinner, I found dirty lingerie under his pillows.
Fuck off, it's nanas.
Well, that's such a rookie error. Why are you not taking it home with
God. No, she did it on purpose. More his rookie error.
I decided to pretend I hadn't seen it and acted like everything was normal around his parents, and we were all talking around the dinner table, and I asked how his nan was doing.
Brilliant. Oh, I'm loving this already. Yeah.
Long story short, it got very awkward, and he tried to speak over me and stop me from saying things. His sister then said, the ex just messaged me. She said she left something of hers in your room when she came over for dinner the other night.
Oh my God. Turns out, what a bitch of the sister. I feel like that seems quite...
Yeah, but maybe she's given her the heads up.
I don't know.
Turns out his nan was never admitted to hospital. I find it so grim when people lie about people's health.
It's a real,
no, that gives me anxiety. That's like... That, in terms of someone's morals, makes me feel ill.
I agree.
That's like a bad.
I'd be worried. Like,
dad's going to have.
Yeah,
I 100% believe that.
Poor Nana.
He was sleeping with his ex and 2-timing us both, and all my work colleagues and friends. And clearly, his family knew about it. I stayed through all the red flags and kept believing his lies.
I think it's so easy to get caught up in it when you're in it. Jesus.
Okay, he left me in a hotel room 6 months pregnant to go to a brothel on a holiday that I paid for. What is wrong with these people? Wait. Oh, another one.
What?
It's by the same person. Stayed and put my savings into a house for us when we got back. Idiot. Finally left. So she stayed, she put her savings into a house from this guy who left her at 6 months pregnant to go to a brothel on a holiday that she paid for.
Ugh. Do you know what? I'd never want to go to a brothel to actively do anything, but I'd love to see what it's like inside. Just to watch.
Probably vary, don't they?
I know, but how fun, I like people watching. How fun to people watch in a brothel?
I'd like to people watch at a sex party.
Yeah, same thing really, isn't it?
No.
Oh, what's a brothel?
A brothel's like prostitutes. You're paying for them.
Oh, okay.
So parties like
I meant
consented.
I meant a sex party.
Yeah, it wasn't. He was paying for sex.
Okay, cool. Do you think majority of men have had a prostitute?
I'm not equipped to answer, but it's probably more than I'd like to think.
Yeah. How grim?
I don't know. I feel like a lot of them do it on stag do's and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, how grim?
Why? Just get it for free, no?
Anyway, back to this. Corey, go off the tangent about brothels. A girl sending her address to my now ex to meet for sex whilst I was on holiday and pregnant.
Changed his PIN on his phone, red flag, then found sexting, flirting messages to a 55-year-old woman.
Another one.
At work.
Still got it.
Okay, let's do one more. Slept with his ex after a night out 6 weeks after we got married. I stayed another 6 years.
Oh, good Lord.
6 weeks after you're married? Like, what the fuck?
Honestly, I'm sorry to go on around. I genuinely think to some people marriage means F all, and it really terrifies me because I am so old school with marriage. Like, marriage for me is a commitment to someone for forever. Like, that is a commitment, and 6 weeks. Like, that's so disrespectful. It's disgusting.
Shocking.
Sorry, things like that make me angry.
So let's go into emails. As always, we want to thank you because without the emails, like, we wouldn't be doing these episodes.
Listen to us talking about brothels,
stuff that we shouldn't be sharing. Right, we've got so many here. I don't know what one to go. Should we do a date confession?
Yeah.
Yeah? Hi, lovely ladies. Please keep me on. No problem. Anne. No, I'm joking. That's not her name. I met this guy one time in Asda, of all places. I love that, though. Like, sometimes
not make her pick someone up.
No, but do you know what? Like, sometimes when I'm going out, like, I'm like, got to put your makeup on, do your hair. Could meet the love of your life walking down the road.
Could do. I just feel like in 2024, people don't really meet.
You just never know. Asda, hun. Although it is a date confession, it might go wrong. Anyway. I looked scruffy mum bun style, rocked it pre-parenting, no makeup, looked awful. Anyway, he followed me home. That's weird. He followed me home. I live round the corner, got my number and took me on a date to Hakkasan in Mayfair.
Good restaurant.
Yeah.
Green flag.
Yeah.
That.
He used his friend's car, thought I was going to die on the drive there. And after he took me home, we had some fun in the car. This wasn't like me, but I felt pressured to. Anyway, after that, he was very persistent and kept saying he wanted to come over, chill, watch a movie, all this stuff. And I said, no, I was busy. And just the way he became very aggressive on the phone, over messages, it scared me. So I just shut it down, said no. But he was like, I just want to come. I know you where you live. Sorry, is this fucking like Jeffrey Dahmer? So for a few weeks, I'd be at home with the lights off, the curtains closed, and in the dark to make it out I wasn't at home. I was generally so scared for my life after I blocked him and never heard from him again. Here's the lesson for everyone. Don't give your home address until you're like...
Followed her home.
But I thought maybe she meant like they walked together.
And that should have been red flags. So if someone said, follow me home, I wouldn't go home.
No.
I wouldn't go home. I'd go somewhere public, or I'd be like, yes, Mum, I'm coming over.
Yeah.
Like that. Or
it's scary, isn't it?
So this is a follow-up. So it says, hello, Kylie and Tash. Hello. I have a part 2 for you, and it's a happy one. Yay. Although I feel a few emotions coming up right now. I still listen to your podcast and love it. I find you both so funny, guys, and honest, and I find that it keeps me in check, if that makes sense. That's nice. My original email is below, and you shared it on your 3rd episode.
How many could see like that a recap? I love that she's...
Yeah, that's really helpful. It was... My husband said he wanted to separate about a week and a half ago. Complete shock and out of the blue. We have a newborn 7-week-old baby and a 4-year-old. I would love to hear on the podcast any advice on navigating the early days and emotions with your children, and also how you told your children how you coped. It would be helpful if there's anything on remaining friends and living together while co-parenting. Whilst we're living together and co-parenting, there isn't much change for our 4-year-old. We aren't planning on telling him.
I remember that.
He's older. Yeah. So...
oh my God, did she stay or did they break up?
I can't know. Can you let me?
I want to know.
So at the time, I guess I was in the grips of grief and also postnatal motherhood that I don't know where I was at. Your podcast and accounts literally got me through, along with my amazing family and friends. I focused on my 2 boys and had a lovely summer with them and my family, and tried to enjoy my maternity leave as best as I could, although cried most days. I even went away for 3 nights to Spain and had some time away, which was lovely. But I just kept thinking I'm only here because I'm separated. Living together got to a really hard place for me, as we would get on so well. I just hated the fact that he changed and he didn't want me and fell for someone else. I didn't even recognise him at times. But one thing he did do was put the boys first. He stopped contact with the other person whilst living in the house and reassured me that the boys were his priority, but I really couldn't understand how he could have developed feelings for someone else when we were married. He was really beating himself up for it and generally felt like it was because we were friends. And he said he loved me, but how could he when he had feelings for someone else? And our relationship had just got boring, I guess, and we had lost each other, which was true on reflection. This is getting waffly, but your podcast and manifesting made me really focus on me. I got myself a new job. I did write my husband letters to let him know how I felt and why we got together, and that at the end of the day, things change when you have kids, but we can still find ourselves together again. And that we both focus on everyone else and forgot about ourselves as a couple, which I agree is a really easy thing to do.
Yeah.
If we got free time, we would go see friends, etc. I then said I was leaving it. He knew how I felt, but I couldn't keep going over it. At some point in September, so after about 5 or so months, it was like I've got my old friend back and our relationship gradually seemed to change. We had some really hard conversations, lots of tears from both of us, and agreed we would see what happens and take it slowly. We are now in a really happy place. We laugh loads. We want to do things to make each other feel special. We did the love language thing. I love that. So we both know what each other need. We talk, but truly talk and appreciate and understand. One of the things I learned from your podcast was to be heard.
I've got goosebumps.
Sorry. One of the things I learned from your podcast was to be heard. I feel both of us stopped doing that, and now we focus on that. We still have arguments and disagreements usually when life is busy and chaotic with the kids, but talk about it. And one of us usually brings it back round to hear the other one who is struggling in that moment. That is such a crucial bit. It's like sometimes like you need someone to pick up like the 80% when you can only give 20.
You know what? Like for me as well, it's sometimes like when you're having an argument and you're both like really in conflict, it's not until you take a step back and you realise, I'm not listening to you, you're not listening to me. You're just shouting at each other, trying so desperately to get your point across without hearing the other one. And you know what's really nice? I feel like a lot of the time, like, and we've had, I think it was a guy emailed in a few weeks ago and sort of said, you know, sometimes when we talk and we make out that we're setting really high expectations and like men should do this and men should do that. But it's just really, really nice to kind of hear that, like, yes, our podcast sometimes may make someone realise they're not in a good place and they leave a relationship, but to know that also it's managed to repair one.
It's my life, isn't it?
Yeah.
I agree with like the conflicts thing. It's like, it is being able to take that's one thing I found really different being in a relationship now is my conflict and my old relationship was awful. It never got repaired. It never got dealt with in the right way. And this is still very new for me. So when something happens, I go into fight or flight mode. I'm learning like as well, like people are always going to like react in moments or not necessarily make the right choice all the time. But it's this communication and how you listen and hear each other and think, look, do you know what? Actually, what I said in that moment was wrong or whatever. And I just feel like this is massive. But yeah, it's like what you're saying, like the fact, who are we to like be helping people repair a relationship?
Call us counselling.
Anyway, we definitely aren't just friends, and intimacy came back, and that is something we ensure we make time for, as tired as life is, working full-time and 2 little kids. We've been away for a spa weekend, been on date nights, and since everything we went through, our family very much want to babysit now, as we were all devastated. He tells me he loves me without me having to prompt like I used to. He tells me I'm the most amazing person he knows, and I know he really means it. Sorry.
Why am I so emotional? Why am I laughing?
For me, though, I'm coming up to the 1 year mark, and there are some dates when he told me things that really hurt me. I get this.
Mm-hmm.
And I have trauma from them. I have been open with him that in these next few weeks / months, there's going to be days that I struggle with, as I remember the day from last year, and that I may need to talk about it and have a big hug. I totally understand where you're coming from with that. And it's something I spoke to my boyfriend about as I was like approaching the year mark. And he was like, do you know what, Kylie? It only feels like a year mark, which is just 365 days. Like what difference does it make if it was like 200 days, or it's only because the collection of days is called a year? And like, I was really trying to like help. It was like, it's just a collection of days. Like, you didn't care after 261 days. Like, this is why And I get that, but it does, like, you are valid for feeling like that. I don't want to ignore it. I never thought I would be that strong person who could do this. And I said I would never do it just for the kids, but I know it's for me. And I know he loves me. And we are now definitely 100% happier than we were a year or two ago. Keep sharing, as one thing I found was the loneliness and thinking it was just me. Still, so many people don't know what I went through. And as soon as I hear a friend tell me they know someone going through something similar, especially with young children, I tell them about your podcast. I tell them I have books they can borrow. I found some books really helpful. And I also say I'm happy to talk to people.
Oh, I love that. Thank you so much for giving that update. I think it is so nice it does show that with the right remorse and,
two people both wanting to work on it.
Yeah.
Both being open to grow and listen and learn together. And that's what they've done. And I think
I love that.
So nice.
Thank you so much for sharing.
I feel like we do share a lot of like not negative, but like doom and gloom. And it's so nice to see like the other side of things.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. So this one is called I Can't Believe She Did That.
Okay. Guys, listen up.
It's a woman here. Hi, ladies. After some help, we've just found out that my sister-in-law has cheated on her husband and they're separating. My husband and I are really sad for them all. They seem like a really happy family. We love our brother-in-law.
It's either got to be her husband's brother, and she's just termed it we love our brother-in-law. It's got to be either...
Yeah.
It's not her brother, otherwise she would say my brother. So she's saying my brother-in-law. So I would imagine it's her husband's brother. His wife has had an affair.
Right.
That's all you need to know.
He's moved out to a few towns away and my sister-in-law is still at home with the kids.
Okay.
I'm wondering how I can help her. She's quite rightly really devastated by her own actions and seems to have really withdrawn from the family. I would have classed us as very close before this, but now she won't speak to me as she may be embarrassed. What can I say to help her know that I'm there for her without seeming intrusive?
Let's pause. I think she is embarrassed. I think that's exactly why she's withdrawing. I think she probably thinks...
Or she thinks that you're just being nosy and what I'm like... Because I would have that guilt.
Mortified.
I would have that guilt, like, she obviously only wants to speak to me because she's either like going to have a go at me or ask questions, or do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that you feel like that they wouldn't genuinely care.
Yeah, like, I realise this is totally a different situation from how you both separated, as she is the one that's done the cheating. Our kids are so close to their uncle too, and I'm wondering if it's right for us to keep in touch with him, or should we stay away whilst they sort out what their new life looks like? Our kids are 10 and 14, so I know something is going on and they keep asking questions. I don't want to lie to them, but also I don't want to tell them the truth about their aunt. All advice welcome. Love the podcast. Being a lifeline for a friend of mine navigating a breakup. I've got to be honest, I'm still slightly confused with who's who.
So, right. What? Sorry, guys.
Someone draw a family tree, right?
Yeah. So you've got the couple who's writing in, the woman who's writing in. You got her and her husband. They've got 2 kids. Her sister-in-law.
I know that it's her sister-in-law that's done the cheating, but I'm just a bit confused why she's questioning whether she should speak to the husband.
Well, he must be the brother. He has to be the brother of the husband or something. Anyway, yeah, she should still speak to him. He's done nothing wrong.
I'm going to be honest. Like, I guess what you're saying is that you kind of want to still have a relationship with her, although she's the one in the wrong for the kids and you were close with her. I mean, I guess that's good of you, because I'd be like, fuck off, hon.
Yeah, what I would do is, rather than focusing on her, like, let her come to you when she's ready, because at the end of the day, if you've reached out and she's ignoring you, I wouldn't go begging. Like, let her deal with her stuff she's got going on. I don't think you should not have a relationship with her husband, ex-husband, whatever, if you want to call him, the uncle. He's still very much the uncle.
Surely, and can I just say, surely if you want if the kids are close, see the kids when they're with their dad.
Yeah.
I wouldn't bother with her.
Yeah, no,
she's the one that's done wrong. You're trying to reach out. She's ignoring you.
I think in regards to telling the children, they're older. I would maybe
I wouldn't go into detail with that. I just say that, you know,
spending some time apart at the moment. That would
they're happy. They're happier living apart. So when we see the kids, it would be with their daddy. Like,
it doesn't need to go into detail. Just very surface level. Like, they're just having some time apart. You know, I don't think it needs to be anything more than that. But yeah, I wouldn't not have a relationship with him. I believe in trying to maintain relationships within families, regardless of whether there's been like a separation. You know, it's not always the case that it works out that way. But yeah.
I just want to share this because I think it's really funny. Someone has sent us a screenshot on the podcast, and she has screenshotted a text message from DPD and sent it to her partner. And she circled, obviously, the time that this delivery is coming. But she's also got at the top showing that she's in the middle of listening to an episode. And it's the episode saying, apparently I give better blowjobs. And her partner's reply going, what the fuck are you listening to? And he's put a shocked face. I just thought that was funny. I wanted to share it.
Brilliant. Love that. This one's called Cheating with a Work Colleague.
Another one.
Hi, Kylie and Tash. Thought I would share my story with you. My now ex-husband had an affair with his
work colleague,
who was also married.
Of course she is. Slapper.
It's just office
slapper.
I just don't want it today. Anyway, I knew something was wrong as his behaviour started to change. He was constantly on his phone, and when I would mention it, he would go into defensive mode, saying it was work because he was a manager and was sorting things out for his colleagues. Then he started going to work, even on his days off, as there was an apparent store visit or work to very late.
This man's pissing me off.
Really triggering me.
Is that?
Yeah. Right.
Do you want me to read it?
No. You need to do this.
You've got this.
Got this. One night I took the phone from under his pillow.
Sorry. Normal behaviour. Trick on. Fucking trick.
Like, can we just, I love how we don't normalise doing things like this. I'm just going to take his phone from under his pillow. Stop the next one. I'm like, hold on, mate.
Let me just go to bed. Come on.
Baby. Until you go. Literally. Well. So one night I took the phone from under his pillow and found tons of messages from his work colleague. They'd been going out for a couple of months on his days off and when he would finish late. I was completely heartbroken. They were writing to each other how much they loved each other and how they could not wait to be together. We had a 2.5-year-old at the time, and I felt like, how could you do this to our family? I actually started to see he had not just become distant with me, but with our son also.
Oh, what a prick.
When confronted, he told me he wasn't going to tell me the truth, but rather asked for a break from a relationship. Sorry, I don't understand break.
We were on a break.
If I was on a break with someone and my partner slept with someone on a break, I wouldn't want to go near him. So
a break is another word for, can I have a timeout? Can I just have a timeout? I'm going to go and quickly fuck this girl down the road and then I'll be back for...
Well, it's just doing what you want to do without it classified being...
In other words, can I have my cake and eat it? Yeah.
Fuck off.
Fuck's sake.
Don't have a break. So we don't have a break from someone you
Go
love.
have a fucking Kit Kat.
Don't be... Oh, God, this winds me up. Right. So he thought he would test the waters, and if it didn't work, he would just come back.
Sorry. Sorry,
babe.
He's asked for a break so he can quickly go and test the whore down the road. And if she's not a good ride, he'll come back to the old bike. Is he fucking joking? What a fucking...
Let me just go see if that grass is greener. And if it's not quite green enough...
Can you wait?
Can you just wait?
Yeah.
And I just... Are you okay? Are you okay? Because I'm not okay right now. The cheek of it. A couple of weeks down the line, I told him I was coming to his workplace to see him. And he said, I've left already, so don't bother. But I still went and asked for him. He hadn't been there the whole day. I put 2 and 2 together and realised he had booked off holiday that week and found out later that they had gone to Bournemouth from her ex-husband, which was our wedding anniversary week, which is why he had initially taken it off. I think one of his work colleagues contacted him and said, why is your wife coming down here when you're on holiday? He thought I had said something about the affair, which I never, because I'm not stupid. He pays for the mortgage on the house. I don't want him to lose his job. However, I got a message calling me a bitch. What did you say to my work colleagues? And then he told me, you think it's been weeks since I haven't loved you. It's been months, if not years.
Oh, he sounds like a right fucking keeper, doesn't he? Good luck to the new woman.
I'll tell you girls, these words will never leave my memory until the day I drop in my coffin. Heartbroken could not even justify the pain I felt when he said that to me. on top of everything else. There's a lot more to the story, but I won't bore you with. The lesson is that you never really know someone, even if they live in the same house as you. Because you have a pure heart doesn't mean that they have a pure heart for you. I was so blindsided. I thought we were happy together. How wrong could I have been? They are now together, and she left her husband as well and have a baby together. Unfortunately, I've not found love yet, but hope to in the future.
You absolutely will. Can I just say, just listening to that whole story, I really hope and I'm sorry if we've been a bit insensitive how we've read it, but listening to our reaction to the type of person that he sounds like, I feel sorry for the new woman, because if he's able to do that to the mother of his children, good luck to anyone else. You will find better. You absolutely will. If that's something that you want, then you will.
Yeah. And also, like, I'm not sure the time span of this, like how long ago it happened, but without like getting too personal, like I relate to a lot of your story, but I feel like if I can meet someone, like anyone can, like I'm not a special like, do you know what I mean? Like I'm not special. It just, those were my set of circumstances. And trust me, when you do find your next person, you're going to look back at him and think, what on earth was I doing for X amount of years? Like, what was I tolerating? You're going to feel like this is what love is meant to feel like. This is what a healthy, positive relationship is meant to feel like. And actually, like, I can guarantee you this, that you are going to feel so happy one day. And one day you're going to look back and actually be grateful that this has happened to you. And I know that sounds insane, but that is where I am sitting in this seat now. Like, I am looking back a year ago, my life was very, very different. But I'm genuinely grateful for everything I've gone through, because it's got me to where I am today. It's got me into like the strongest place I've been, like in myself, like mentally, knowing what I deserve, knowing my worth. And yeah, just please, like, have faith. Like, he's not won. Like, he's not the winner of this game. He's not got what he wanted and got this new kid with this new woman. Like, karma has a way of coming round. You're going to be getting, you know, your life is going to be far happier. And that's the end of that chapter.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, confession of the week. Are we ready? Confession. My husband, now ex-husband, was still living in the house and had a girlfriend. I didn't know he had a girlfriend. He had an affair. Anyway, he was ordering her birthday presents to be delivered to our house that I was accepting, so I started posting them back with a returned sender on them, not known as this address.
Yeah, like that.
Good for you, huh?
That's just really insensitive.
Let's do one more. Just been asked for a threesome on a dating site. What the fuck? Did you go?
What happened next?
Okay, let's end this episode with a positive affirmation. Eventually, things get better.
I agree. I love that. Things won't... I've said this to someone in my inbox this morning who's literally... her husband walked out on Mother's Day.
They love to pick days, don't they?
Yeah, she messaged me and she was asking for some advice. And I said to her, it's going to be hurting so much right now. But I said, please take comfort knowing it's not always going to hurt this much. Every so often that pain is going to alleviate a bit by bit by bit, and things will start to feel better. So yeah.
But guys, thank you so much. As always, keep sending in your email, like, share, subscribe, and leave some positive feedback.
Where are you guys at? We know you're listening. We know you love us. So go and help us out.
Do it.
Like 2 minutes of your time, and it means so much to us.
And we just love that. Yeah, we're still getting to do this. Like, it's one of my favourite days. Like,
yes,
it is. It's just so nice, therapeutic, and we love our little community that we've got. And without the shitty situations that we were once in, we wouldn't have this. So thank you, if you're listening, whoever put us in these situations.
Shout out to my ex.
You're really quite the man. Okay, anyway, love you guys. Bye. Bye.